circle bright, weave your web of dark and light. Earth, air, fire.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to Which is the Moon. I'm your Monday hostess, Natalie. Today we are talking about our favorite brews. Brews can be anything from a tea or concoction to a decoction to a tincture to an oil. And today I'm going to do an oil for you. I did think about doing one of my teas. I might do that I can't remember if we're doing Sheriff's Bell this season or not, but if not, I might do one on my personal channel. For this particular oil, you will need corn flour, chamomile, happens to be German chamomile, passion flower, pardon my ugly little jars, and rose petals. Now, you will notice that in this mixture of rose petals, I have pink, yellow, white, and actually no white, just yellow. There's pink, yellow, and red in here. Okay. Now, as we all know, colors correspond to particular energies. Yellow roses promote friendship. Red roses promote romantic love, passionate love, and pink roses I always associate pink roses with self-love personally, just like I do with quartz. And that is something that if you wish to add to this oil, you can certainly do that. You can add some pink quartz or some clear quartz for clarity of thought. What this oil is intended to do is to promote a sense of love. So love could be agape love, meaning the self-sacrificing love. It could mean just promoting a general sense of love and community within your household. It could be passionate love, however you want to formulate it. And so what's really important about this particular oil is going to be your intent with each of these items. Personally, I think that romantic love begins with friendship. So I always include yellow roses with my red roses and my love oils because I feel that friendship is the basis of a strong relationship. Another thing that you will need is you're going to need an empty jar, whatever size you want to make. I like to put some lavender. This is lavender from my garden. If you don't have lavender, you can use lavender essential oil. And I always like to add some ylang ylang oil. Ylang ylang is very good for that passionate love. So, you will also need carrier oil. I like grapeseed oil because grapeseed oil doesn't really have much of a smell of its own. I like olive oil, but it does carry its own fragrance. And for my purposes, you'll need like a little spray bottle. You can add a little patchouli if you want a little bit of masculine energy, and if you're trying to promote romantic love, patchouli is a good thing to add because it adds that masculine sexuality to your oil, but you don't have to have it. In this case, I'm doing this oil just to promote a basic general feeling of love and contentment and harmony within my environment. So the first thing you will do is you will open your jar, whatever you're going to put your oil into. I'll show you what I use the spray bottle for in a minute. And I like to add, the other thing you will need, either a coffee filter or cheesecloth. Now, some people, you can do this a couple of different ways. You can put the herbs directly into the jar, add the carrier oil on top of it, and let it sit for a few days. And if you're like me, I like to kind of crush my herbs a little bit as I put them in because that releases the oils that are naturally in the plant and that gets their energy flowing, from those oils, in my opinion. So, well, I mean, it's not my opinion that it actually helps release the oils. It does, but you know what I'm saying. Some people like to then just strain it out with cheesecloth. And if you want to do that, you can do that. Some people like to leave the herbs in there. Here's the problem with doing that. Sometimes the herbs will start to break down and your oil may not last as long. So if you're going to make a big jar like this, then you may want to strain them out. So what I like to do is use a coffee filter, and I'll put my herbs in the coffee filter and make it into like a little tea bag, and I'll let it sit in there, and I'll either warm the oil by putting it in a pan of hot water or putting it in the sun. Now, in this case, I like to put it in the sun and I'll let it sit in direct sunlight for a few days. I also put it in the moonlight because in this particular oil, I like to imbue it with both masculine and feminine energies. But the fact of the matter is the reason I put it in the sun is to allow the oil to heat up naturally, which allows the oils and constituent factors in the plants to release into the oil. But then you can pick this out and squeeze it. You want to make sure you squeeze it, squeeze your cheesecloth, get all of your oil out. Either way. In this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it into the filter. You can also do that with the cheesecloth. You can put it in the cheesecloth, type the cheesecloth, and put it in oil. And do it the same way. Just make sure you squeeze it all out. And since there's nothing harmful in this oil, then you can put it all you want. But I'm going to take my coffee filter. I'm going to lay it down. I'm going to have my jar open, ready to go. I like to cleanse my jars. And one of the things that I picked up from Lady Gravedancer is I like to smoke my jars with incense to cleanse them spiritually. So I'll use sage or palo santo or rosemary and kind of burn some and cleanse out the jar, spiritually speaking, especially if you reuse your jars like I do. Not only do you need to clean them thoroughly in the dishwasher or bleach water and sanitize them, but you want to cleanse them spiritually as well. So what I will do is I will add, it doesn't matter what order you add your herbs. I just always do it the same way. I'll take a pinch of corn flour. And the reason I like corn flour, I don't think the camera does it justice, but you can see that this is very bright blue. It's a very, very bright blue. Yeah, the camera's not doing it justice. But to me, it bespeaks of blue skies and happiness. That blue and yellow just makes me think of a bright, sunny sky and pleasant, happy, clear days. If you're a fan of Anna Green Gables, there's a line in one of the chapters where it says that the pearl of the days slipped by, golden blue days slipped by like pearls on a string, and that's what I think of. So I like to put corn flour. Now, one of the things that I do when I'm doing an oil like this is I will bespeak into the herb my enchantment. And of course, I'm going to bend down to do that, so you're not going to see me lift it up. And you speak your intent to the herb. What is it there for? So I will do that now because I do plan on using this oil. So give me a moment. Okay. Once you've put your intent into that, the next one you're going to add is passion flower. Because no relationship is good without passion, or whether it's parental, romantic love, or anything. So I'll put a pinch of passion flower for passion and passionate joy, right? Next, I will add my rose petals. And again, I like to make sure that I get a pretty good mix. And as I put my herbs in, again, I'm kind of crushing them up a little bit, especially my rose petals. I'll kind of crush in the rose petals a little to get those things going, and I will enchant it. You can either use your hands to push the energy in. You can use your words to speak your intent. Either way works, you know. Okay. Then I'm going to add lavender, and the reason I add lavender is lavender adds a sense of calm and peace and happiness to your relationships. I am getting rose petals on my keypad, and they're digging down into the keys. And that one's down into the keys. So, you know, it doesn't take a lot of any of the herb, frankly. You just need to have the herb there. So I'm going to just take 2 little pieces of my lavender, because I'm also going to add some lavender essential oil. Okay. You can throw away the stems. You can add the stems. I crush them up and add them. Okay, and then that's added. Then what you would do is you would take your jar. I said you're going to put up your little tea bag full of herbs. And what I usually do, I prefer to tie them with string, but at this point I don't have any string. So I'm just going to twist it, and I'm going to staple it. I know that sounds bad. I don't like doing that because I don't know how the metal affects it, to be honest with you, but one staple I think won't hurt. So I'm going to staple it once so that it makes like a little bag. I prefer to tie them with string. You can certainly do that. Then I'm going to put this into my jar. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my carrier oil. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. Got the chamomile. I get for trying to do this on the fly, right? I had planned to film this video over the weekend, and a personal tragedy struck, so kind of wiped out all of my plans for Saturday. So chamomile, what chamomile brings to your relationships is a sense of harmony, peace, and calmness. So there's less fighting, there's less arguing or disagreement. So you add those. Now what I like to do too is kind of crush them a little like this. Okay, so now I'm going to twist it, staple it again. I pulled the other staple out. You put it in your jar. Carrier oil over it, however much oil you want to put in there. In this case, I'm not going to fill the jar because I don't want to use up all of my oil. I'm only going to do like half a jar. But I'm going to let this sit in the direct sunlight. Now, once you let it heat up, or if you just want to let it sit, you can really let it sit for however long you feel you need it. Like I said, I personally prefer to let it sit in the direct sunlight so that it gets all that oil. The energy's mixed in with it. It gets the sun, it gets the moon, and then I'll squeeze it out. So I'll let it sit like this for about 3 days. I either do 3 or 9 days. Then what I would do is I would add the drops of essential oil, and I would add 3 drops of lavender, 3 drops of ylang-ylang, 1 to represent each of the feminine energies for calming, love, and happiness. And then your oil is good to go. Once you strain this out, your oil is ready to use. The reason I like to have the spray bottle is what I will do is I will add some of the oil about halfway, and I'll put a little bit of water in there halfway, sometimes a couple of drops of honey, and then you shake it, and you can spray it around the room. You will need to shake it because obviously the oil and water will separate as it sits, but you can shake it up and then spray it around your room. If you've had an argument, you can spray it. You can use it to spray your bed sheets to promote a sense of calm during sleep and promote dreams of love and happiness. You can also do it to improve your marital bed if that's your issue, to bring passion or to bring calm and happiness and love, promote those feelings of love and happiness. I like to use this after we argue to clear the air, but that would be my favorite brew. That is my love oil. I also use it to anoint candles when I'm doing a love working or a healing working of some type because love is very healing. So I will use it for that. I will also use it to anoint certain cards, like if I'm using a certain tarot card in a spell, like the Lovers or something like that, then I will anoint the card or anoint the image with that. I use it to anoint my sigils. Sometimes I'll use it just to anoint my doorways so that no one that doesn't have a sense of love can come into my home. But that is one of my favorite brews. Thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.